The Iraq War was one of the most controversial and divisive conflicts in modern history. The war, which began in 2003, was justified by the United States government on the basis of Iraq's alleged possession of weapons of mass destruction (WMD). However, as the war dragged on and no WMD were found, public support for the war waned. In this video, we will explore the different perspectives on the Iraq War, as presented by PragerU and reality. PragerU's perspective. PragerU is a conservative media organization that has been critical of the media's coverage of the Iraq War. According to PragerU, the media has perpetuated myths about the war, including the idea that the war was based solely on the presence of WMD in Iraq. PragerU argues that the media has ignored other justifications for the war, including Saddam Hussein's human rights abuses and his support for terrorism. PragerU has also criticized the media's coverage of the war's aftermath. According to PragerU, the media has focused too much on the negative aspects of the war, such as the loss of American lives and the rise of sectarian violence in Iraq. PragerU argues that the media has not given enough attention to the positive developments in Iraq, such as the establishment of a democratic government and the reduction in violence following the surge. Reality. The reality of the Iraq War is more complex than either PragerU or the media has presented. While it is true that the presence of WMD was a major justification for the war, it is also true that the Bush administration used flawed intelligence to justify the invasion. In the years following the invasion, it became clear that Iraq did not possess WMD, and the justification for the war became increasingly difficult to defend. The aftermath of the war was also more complicated than either PragerU or the media has presented. While it is true that Iraq held elections and established a democratic government, it is also true that the country has been plagued by sectarian violence and political instability. The surge in 2007 did succeed in reducing violence, but it did not solve the underlying political and social problems that continue to plague Iraq today. Conclusion. The Iraq War remains a deeply controversial and divisive conflict, and the perspectives presented by PragerU and the media do not fully capture its complexity. While PragerU is right to criticize the media's one-sided coverage of the war, it is also important to acknowledge that the Bush administration's flawed intelligence played a major role in the decision to invade. And while the establishment of a democratic government in Iraq is a positive development, it has not solved the underlying problems that continue to plague the country. Ultimately, the Iraq War is a reminder of the importance of informed and critical thinking when it comes to matters of war and foreign policy. As we continue to grapple with the consequences of this conflict, it is crucial that we engage in thoughtful and nuanced debate, and that we remain open to new perspectives and ideas.